Have you ever posted a piece of sponsored content that maybe didn't go over as well as you thought it would with your audience? In today's video, I really wanted to sit down and chat through what to do if a brand collaboration doesn't do well and talk through some steps you can take as well as some ways to set yourself up in the future so that this doesn't happen to you more than once. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Austen and I am a fashion and beauty content creator based in New York City. I use this channel to teach micro-influencers how to create great content, grow their digital brands, and make sustainable income from being a content creator. So if any of that interests you, please be sure to subscribe to my channel for new videos every Tuesday. So you've been working with a brand, you've gotten your approvals back, and then you finally hit publish on your post and not a lot is going on. I've been a digital content creator for almost 10 years, and this has absolutely happened to me before. It's possible that you think the content flopped, maybe it just didn't really perform the way that you were hoping it would, or the brand may see it as a failure and come to you and ask you about it. So whatever way it is, whether this is a personal concern of yours or a concern brought to you by the brand, I'm gonna walk through step by step what I would do if a brand collaboration flopped, and also give you some tips along the way to really help you set yourself up for success in the future, because this is still such a new industry and working with content creators is something that brands are learning about more and more every day. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing I would do if a post has flopped in some way is to take a step back and revisit your original agreement with the brand. For every brand deal you do, you should have some kind of contract or agreement in place with them. And I didn't start doing this until a few years ago, but I find it really helpful and also important, especially in situations like these, to ask a brand before you even start working together what the goal of the campaign is for them. Brands will typically choose one KPI, also known as key performance indicator, to measure the success of an influencer campaign. In many cases of influencer marketing, the KPI is generally brand awareness. They want their brand to be exposed to an audience, and as you as the content creator have an audience that hopefully matches that brand's target demographic, they're looking to use you to introduce their brand or maybe a new product or something they didn't know about the brand to your community. In other cases though, a KPI could be a certain number of views or sales. So maybe a brand just wants story clicks, maybe they want Instagram followers. So it's really important for you as the content creator to understand before you even start creating content or agree to work with this brand, what they're hoping to get out of this partnership. Because if they are asking for something very unrealistic right off the bat, then you know that they're going to be disappointed later on if it's something that you can't realistically deliver. So let's say a brand comes to you and says, hey, we want to work with you, but we really want to sell 100 sweaters of ours. So your goal is to sell 100 sweaters. Well, I don't know about you guys, but affiliate marketing is part of my business, and I definitely do sell products and people buy things that I recommend, but that's a lot of pressure to sell 100 sweaters to my audience. Even if they do love my recommendations, it's really hard for me personally to guarantee something like that to a brand, so I would probably address that right away in the conversation. If you did not select a key performance indicator at the beginning of your campaign, then it is going to be hard to know for you as an influencer what you need to deliver in order to make the brand happy, and the brand doesn't have really much to go off of in terms of measuring the results of the campaign. So just keep that in mind for both this current collaboration that you're doing and also for any future brand deals. The second thing I would do is assess how bad it really is. So when I was talking about at the beginning of this video that either maybe the brand said something to you or maybe you personally are just feeling a little bit let down with the performance of this post, if it is self-initiated, just take a step back and say, how bad is it really? If you typically post content that gets 500 likes and this post got 450, you're still doing okay. And actually, there are studies that show that sponsored content typically has less engagement than organic content does. I'm gonna link an article down below for you in the description box that talks a little bit more about this, and they did a study in this article that found that typically there is between 9 and 17% less engagement on sponsored content than organic content. So that's important to keep in mind, and also something that you can communicate to the brand in terms of managing their expectations for this campaign. Now, if you typically get 500 likes per photo and you only got 50 likes on your ad, that is a bigger discrepancy, and it's something worth looking into. And here's the thing, I think this is the important point that I really want to drive home here, whether you're an influencer or possibly even if you work for a brand and you've stumbled upon this video, which is that influencer marketing can be extremely effective. We know this, we've seen great success stories and examples of influencer marketing working, and even though it is easier to track the success of an influencer campaign compared to, let's say, putting a print ad in a magazine, there are still some discrepancies and not everything is going to be accounted for. Let's just say, for example, you partnered with a brand who was really hoping for sales as a result of your influencer campaign. You can track sales through things like affiliate codes and affiliate links, which you can now link on your Instagram stories using the link sticker, but it's still not totally trackable and it still might not be possible to trace down the source of every single sale that is made on the site. I've done this plenty of times, even though I usually do try to go out of my way to use someone's link if they are the ones who have led me to a certain product. Every once in a while, I'm looking at something on my phone, I forget about it, and then 5 days later, I might type it into the website myself on the computer and make that purchase. Or it's possible for some affiliate links that the cookie just didn't save over time. So I think that it's important to remember that there are ways that you can be influential that are not necessarily trackable, and this is what all ties in together to create this bigger picture of influencer marketing. The best way to track the success of your social media content is definitely through reach and engagement. If you feel like you need any additional help, just making sure that you're setting your page up for success, you're understanding what your audience wants, and you're showing up consistently to serve your community, I do actually have a free guide that I've created for you all called the Influencer Launchpad. The Influencer Launchpad is, like I said, a free guide that I created that basically covers everything you would want to know about being a content creator online. So I share tips and tricks in this guide, like how to develop your content pillars, creating a consistent posting schedule, and even tips to just elevate your basic iPhone photography. So if you're interested in checking that out, I will leave a link for you down below in the description box, or you can also head to austentosone.com/subscribe to grab your free copy of this guide. We all go through the self-inflicted slight imposter syndrome, especially when it comes to sponsored content at times. So if it's self-inflicted and you're just feeling a little bit let down with how you did, honestly, I would give yourself a little bit of grace and let it go. If the brand, however, comes to you and calls out some discrepancy in the campaign from what they were expecting. Maybe it didn't get as many likes or comments as they were hoping for. Maybe there weren't really people saving and sharing it. Maybe it just didn't get a ton of engagement overall. Whatever they're saying, if a brand does come to you and expresses disappointment in the campaign for one reason or another, I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. The first thing you should ask yourself is see if the brand's point is legitimate, as in, did you really underdeliver to a truly disappointing extent? Or was the brand hoping for something that was perhaps an unrealistic expectation that you and the brand never really fully aligned on? If the brand does have a valid point though, and you feel that you kind of did underdeliver in a certain area, sit tight because I have an idea for that. But before I share that with you, the second question I would ask yourself here is this a brand that I am interested in developing a long-term relationship with? Because that is going to basically outline how you move forward here. If you just worked with this brand and did a one-off campaign with them, you like their products just fine, they were good to work with, but you don't really see yourself continuing to develop a relationship with them and create content about their products that you share with your audience, that's okay. There are one-off brand deals out there. However, if this is a brand that you are super passionate about and you really want to continue working with them and establishing a relationship with them and building upon what you've already created, I think that it's extremely important that you listen to their concerns, validate what they're saying, and figure out a good way to move forward that can make sense for both parties. Let's just say for some reason your post totally tanked. You usually get 500 likes, you only got 50 likes, and this is like a brand that you are super passionate about working with and you want to kind of like make it up to them a little bit. There's something in advertising called a make good, where basically say like Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its, so why not? Bought out a Super Bowl commercial slot, and they were expecting to reach X many million people during the Super Bowl, but I don't know, 2 crappy teams are in the Super Bowl, so not as many people tuned in. If they were promised a certain number of eyeballs on that commercial, it's possible that the network will then run additional ads for free, because they did not hit that agreed upon benchmark. Now, these are kind of 2 different industries. This is a very traditional advertising standard, but I think that this does show a sense of professionalism and also just understanding of the advertising and marketing industries together. If you do pull together something that you can offer back to the brand to make up for whatever didn't end up working out during the campaign. Now, what I typically recommend for a make good is just to offer an additional Instagram story shout out, and here's why. The brand is getting an extra piece of content that they don't have to pay for. You are showing the initiative to try to correct this and make this right. And out of all of the different content that you could create, this is the most low effort and easiest way to reach your audience. So for example, if I posted about a moisturizer, that post maybe didn't do very well, I could say to the brand, I'd love to do a little story update in addition to this campaign for you all, and just let people know in a few weeks. Like, guys, remember that moisturizer I was telling you about? I just wanted to share, I'm now a few weeks after my initial testing period, and it's still really standing the test of time, and my skin looks great. I do have a discount code down below if you guys want to use that. I mean, that took me 15 seconds to say. I could just talk to the camera super easily. Done, very engaging, something my audience would probably respond to, and just give a little bit of extra exposure. That's it. In most cases, this is what I would recommend. I would not think that you need to sit down and film like a full dedicated YouTube video for the brand or hire a photographer to do something different. It should really just come down to, hey, I know this didn't go the way we planned, and that is kind of the world of influencer marketing, but because I'm so passionate about moving forward and continuing to build a relationship with you all, and I want you to trust me on this, I would love to offer this additional shout out, and I'll waive my fee for it. Like, that just sounds so professional, and that's the kind of content creator who is A, self-aware, and B, kind of on top of these things that I would think any brand would want to work with. And the last thing that I want to say about all of this is basically just that we learn as we do these things. Again, content creation in the influencer industry is still very new. There's a lot of moving parts here, and each time you do a brand deal, use that to inform your future experiences. Maybe your audience is just into Instagram Reels and doesn't engage with your feed posts anymore, so you should be focusing primarily then on trying to land brand deals that involve Instagram Reels. It's also possible that maybe your audience responds better when they see you using a product over time, and then you can focus on learning more long-term brand partnerships or ambassadorships. And if you haven't yet done this with your audience, it might be a good idea to just take an opportunity and let them know why you do sponsored content, and let them know that their support on both your organic and sponsored posts allows you to keep continuing to show up as a content creator and deliver them the great content that they're following you for. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about prepping your audience for sponsored content, or how to kind of warm them up to the idea that you might be posting ads, I would definitely recommend checking out our Clubhouse room about this. My Clubhouse group, the Creator Lounge, hosts rooms every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right now, all about things influencer marketing. I don't think I've really talked about it on my YouTube channel, but if you are on Clubhouse, please come consider joining our rooms. And I will link the replay down below to a room we did last week all about this topic, prepping your audience for SponCon, how to let them know you're posting ads, and ways to kind of authentically incorporate your ads into your organic content. So I hope you'll get a chance to check that out. And there we go. I think we covered a lot today, but if you do have any questions or there's something I didn't really address in this video you'd like to ask me about, please leave me a comment down below. I will do my best to get back to everyone who comments and share my thoughts. Once again, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, but you enjoyed today's video, please do consider subscribing. I post new videos every Tuesday, as I mentioned, and you can even turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a video from me. Thank you again for watching. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!